apply to an immortal being. Let me repeat that again.
Yes, please. Yeah.
Death and resurrection only apply to mortals. Do not apply to people who do not die. Do not apply to immortals. Because an immortal person doesn't die in the first place. So there's no question of him rising from the dead. But you see, in the case of Jesus, resurrection. What is resurrection?
Yeah, but that's your definition. I don't agree with it. I'm
John,
not saying it's not true.
what is the definition of resurrection?
I don't know.
Rising from dead.
Yes. I mean,
Okay.
You can describe it in a simple way and then more
Well,
complex way.
you can make it complicated if you want, but you'll still come to the same conclusion. That resurrection means to rise back from being dead.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Did Jesus die? Yes. Did Jesus resurrect? Yes. Did the Father die? No. Did the Father resurrect? No. So who is immortal from the two? It's clear, it's the Father.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean, but it's not.
So why are you fighting your natural inclination towards the truth? What you're doing is you're fighting it. Don't fight it.
Absolutely not.
Acknowledge the truth when you see it.
No, I can see your point, but what I'm saying, it's a weak argument.
Why is it weak? It's very strong.
No, it's shallow.
Okay, which part of it is shallow and weak? Go on.
All of it.
Tell me which part.
The trying to interpret what is immortality, what is death. This is, I'm not saying I'm going by your definition 100%, but you can expand a lot on these terms.
Why didn't you ask me where I got the definitions from?
Well, I can ask you if you want.
Yeah, so I got it from the Strong's Concordance, which is a Christian kind of dictionary in order for you to understand every word in the Bible. Okay, so it defines every word. So it's not my definition, my friend. Yes? You can go and look at the Greek term. I think it's called anastasia or Anastasia or something like that. I might be mispronouncing it. That is what immortal means. And this is defined as someone who is not subject to death, or someone who doesn't perish or doesn't experience death. You see what I mean?
Perish. That's now, you see.
And I made it very clear that death does not mean cease to exist.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
Yeah.
So I'm using the correct definition based on the Christian text, not my definition.
Yeah.
So if you think I'm making it up, please go home and check it.
Okay, I will check.
All right? But anyway, look, from our natural understanding of the terms, and these are simple terms: death, resurrection, crucifixion, immortal. These are everyday terms. They are not some, special terms only known by the scholars.
Yeah, they are simple.
These are simple terms, and based on the context, God is telling you that He doesn't die. If God Himself is defining, who are we to define God? So God defines Himself, and He tells us not everything about Him, but there are certain things which He tells us about Him in order that we recognize Him.
Yeah.
And one of them is the fact that He is immortal. And I gave you the reference.
Yes.
1 Timothy
I agree
6:16.
with that.
It's also in 1 Timothy 1:17. Yes? So there are quite many references in the Bible.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yes. There's another important attribute of God. It's called omniscience, which means all-knowing. Do you believe Jesus was all-knowing?
Do I believe Jesus as all-knowing?
Was He all-knowing? Did He know everything like God should do?
We don't know everything actually from the Bible about Jesus.
No. I'm not asking if you know everything about Jesus. Based on what He informed us of in the Bible, and based on the passages in the Bible, do you believe that Jesus is all-knowing?
Okay, I think I have a hint where you want me to go. Because you probably will want me to go to when He didn't know the hour.
Yeah, that is one of them. There's another one as well, quite significant. The fig tree, do you remember? When He was hungry, He approached the fig tree.
Yes.
So when He was hungry, He approached the fig tree, and He realized there's no figs. And He curses the fig tree. And the fig tree withers and dies within days, or sometimes even immediately, I think.
I believe that Jesus is all-knowing. That's true. If He wants to know, yes. But if He...
What do you mean if He wants to know? If you know something, then you know it.
But
You can't decide and say, I don't know. You would be lying if you did that.
it's a complex thing. But I would say...
It's very simple, my friend.
I would say Jesus is all-knowing. I would say that.
So why did He not know the fig season, which even a farmer at his time would know?
I cannot explain that particular, but I know for sure he did know that.
He didn't know. He approached it.
Yeah.
The reason he cursed the fig tree is because he didn't see any fruit on it.
That's correct.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
But this is common knowledge even for a farmer at that time.
I remember it. I think I can comment on that.
Okay, please.
The fig tree.
Please do.
Yes, he wanted to imply that we the people, we have to be fruitful at all times, not in a particular season. And he mentioned that...
Wait, you have to be fruitful
all times.
All times.
Yeah, we have to be good people, not in a particular season or hour, not for example...
So why curse the tree? You could have said that.
Yes, but that's a clear...
Why curse a perfectly fruit-bearing tree which people could have benefited from?
No, but it wasn't fruit-bearing.
It wasn't bearing because it wasn't the season.
But, I mean...
And guess who made that law? God himself made the law that the fig tree or any tree doesn't bear fruit outside its season.
Yeah.
So
we know that.
what was the fault of the tree which was following the laws of nature or the laws of God to be specific? See what I mean?
I agree with that.
So that argument doesn't actually wash. It's not a rational argument to say that he wanted to teach a lesson. He could have just said it like he says all the time. He gives parables, you know?
Correct.
Yes, he doesn't need to kill people to give parables. Yes. Remember about the prodigal son and everything? Yes, and about people who do not obey him, they will be killed and so on. Yes, in Luke, the proverb about the king and the son and those people who do not obey him. Anyway, where he says that I've not come for peace, but I've come to bring a sword.
Oh, yes.
You see what I mean? So he was giving analogies to you. He could have done the same thing. Why destroy a perfectly good fruit-bearing tree,
That's what
which by its own conditioning did not bear fruit outside the season?
Why I'm questioning God, why he done this thing in a certain way? Well, it's up to him. It's not up.
But anyway, the passage.
I concluded the same thing out of that
By the way, the
story.
passage did say that Jesus felt hungry and he approached the tree. So we already know the reason why he came to the tree. It wasn't to teach people lessons. He came to the tree, the fig tree, because he was hungry. Remember, if a God wants to eat food, yes, it can just snap. He can just snap his finger, maybe the fruit will bear tree. See what I mean?
He can do anything.
Why did God need to curse the tree? I don't understand.
Up to us to tell why he did or why he
No,
didn't.
he just tell us why he did it. Because it wasn't bearing fruit. He was hungry, he approached the tree, there was no fruit on it, he got angry and he cursed it. Very simple.
As a Christian, nobody interpreted this or explained this verse to me, I straight away absorbed what the message is. The message is we have to be fruitful all the time. We have to be good people all the time, not in a particular month or a particular time of the year.
No, but that's Jesus did not come for that message. Jesus came to the tree. If you want, open the passage and look.
That's the message I got from
No, but you're ignoring the context of the passage then. Because Jesus approached the tree because he was hungry.
What does it make difference if it's hungry or not?
It tells you the reason he came to the tree.
So the Bible only is putting us just to show us that Jesus was hungry?
No,
There is a big
the
message?
Bible gave you the message why Jesus went to the tree.
Yeah, but because there is a big message from this, not because he's hungry. We know he's hungry. He can be hungry.
So let me get this right.
Out of it.
Are you saying that all Christians are fruitful 24 hours a day?
No, absolutely.
So if you guys are not fruitful 24 hours a day, based on your interpretation of that passage, then Jesus will curse you. Am I right?
Yeah, possibly. I mean, look, because,
Are you saying possibly Jesus will curse you because you're not fruitful 24 hours a day? I mean, a man got to sleep, right? A man got to eat. A man has needs. So no one can be fruitful in that sense 24 hours a day.
no, if we have a sin, actually we are somehow cursed. Because sin separates us from God, and that's a curse by definition. So we have to be fruitful, yes, and that's why we cannot achieve that.
Okay.
That's why Jesus died for our sins. And he said, you know what, you cannot be fruitful 24 hours.
Exactly my point. So is he going to curse you if you're not fruitful 24 hours?
No, thanks God, I believe.
So then there is a possibility that there are times when you're not fruitful and there are times when you are fruitful, which is exactly what the tree was doing. So you don't learn any lesson from the tree then, even based on your analogy.
I learned the standards of God that he wants from me, and because I'm short of those standards,
Okay.
I'm okay. My sin is erased by his blood on the cross.
That's the other issue with Christians. Are you saying that the only way you can be forgiven is by human sacrifice?
The only way I can be depends on the. I mean, every sin has to be punished, right?
Why? Why can't God forgive?
Because he wouldn't be just.
Why would he not be just?
Because if he can forgive, where is justice? I mean, if I
Do you know what forgiveness means?
I mean, it has. I mean, you have to pay for your sin.
No, forgiveness doesn't means you don't have to pay for it. Forgiveness means you don't have to pay for it. For example, if you borrowed money from your brother and your brother tells you that I forgive you your debt, that means you don't have to pay him back. That is what forgiveness means. If your brother says, can you pay me in kind? That means, I don't know, pay him, I don't know, give him a car or do some work for him or something. That's called payment in kind. That is still a payment though, it's not forgiveness. Are you telling me that God is unable to forgive?
God can forgive, of course, but He is. I mean, why is this all sacrificial law that has been instructed through all the Old Testament?
Even with the sacrificial laws, He doesn't forgive you.
Yeah, but why wouldn't God
which
just,
are
don't sacrifice? I'll forgive you.
no, the sins. Listen, you need to understand something. I'm talking about Jesus.